Hello there. So, I'd like to talk about tea for a little bit because I like tea. Tea is very nice. I drink too much tea. It keeps me going. Makes my teeth funny colour. But if I sort of just get straight to it, in like the UK, if you're dealing with like dark teas like a Kenyan or a Darjeeling or to a lesser extent a Ceylon, there are two different debates which you can generally find. The first one is whether or not you put milk in it. Some people with tea are like, no, you should never put milk in it, that's terribly disgusting for you. And others swamp theirs in milk. And then somewhere in the middle you got the ones, such as myself, that generally put in a little bit of milk just to colour it, give it a bit of a toffee colouring. And the second one, which is sort of more leading on to where this is going, is sugar. Because, again, some people swear by never ever putting sugar in tea. And I tend to fall more towards that one, if I'm honest. Well, sometimes I have a spoonful, whereas sometimes other people will have 2 or 3 in their tea. And that sort of got me thinking, if you have like sugar in your tea, then you probably have salt as well. And sort of how I started thinking about this was with salt in plated sugar or salt and sugar together. So obviously you get like salted chocolate, you get like salted caramel. There's like debates of whether or not you put sugar or salt in porridge, or you can have sugary popcorn or salty popcorn. So that got me a little bit curious about whether or not, if you can have sugary tea, you can have salty tea. And as it turns out, there are certain peoples in the world that do have salt in their tea. Apparently the Chinese are quite known for it. It apparently adds a little bit of a pop of flavour in their tea. And the one that interested me most is the Mongolians, who make a Suutei Tsai, as they call it, which is basically tea, salt, and the same amount of milk and water in with it, and it's a stew. So it's a very milky tea. And this is, as it turns out, partially because milk is still a very important part of the Mongolian diet, due to partially the country's history as nomadic, pastoral, pastoral people. There are still many people outside of Ulaanbaatar which live by that, and that's I find quite interesting because it's also an example of a very milky tea, but obviously flavoured with this different thing than sugar. So what I've prepared here, just to give it a go, is this is kind of a hybrid of the Suutei Tsai, Suutei Tsai, and the English breakfast tea. I have used a standard tea named after a particularly large northern county in England. Brewed it for 5 minutes, popped in a splash of milk, and a teaspoon of, I don't know if you can, no, you can't actually say that at all. But anyway, I promise you. Do you like my mug? Very pretty. So yeah, here's to Mongolia. Not quite sure there's supposed to be that much salt in it, to be honest, because the Mongolians apparently typically put a teaspoon of salt in with, according to Wikipedia anyway, with a quart of milk and a quart of water. But what I failed to do was research how much a quart is. So this could be normal, this could be too salty. I'll admit it's actually quite pleasant. It's certainly different to the sugar. Like sugar, you tend to find, unless you have like 2 in there, it almost sort of like just dulls out the bitterness of it a little bit. It's kind of can get swamped quite easily, but this is sort of more it's not even particularly salty. You just put that down before I drink it all. I can't tell if it's particularly salty or if it just sort of brings out different flavours, but that's actually really, really cool. That's really quite pleasant. Yeah. Well, the more you know, eh? Good job, Mongolia. Good job to the Chinese too. I'm not sure if I favour that in front of having a tea without sugar, or you know, or salt or anything in it. But I think I'll definitely bear that one in mind when it's a bit different. If I want something a bit different, I'll go with a solid 8 out of 10, I think, on that one. Or actually no, maybe a 7. We'll go with a 7 instead. Laters.